what have you seen from Rashan over the last, really conference play that has been the keys to the success he's had and his ability to kind of fill a little bit of that void that McKenzie left with the injury?
Well, he gets double-digit rebounds every game. Obviously, we know that we're not this tall with McKenzie. McKenzie was a good rebounder, so we lost a lot of rebounds when he got hurt. Ruben's been playing 4 a lot, and Ali Deeba's been playing some 4. So he's had to really rebound the ball well. Everything else, his leadership and all that is, obviously been consistent. But just the way he's rebounding the ball gives us a chance to play and get, a lot of our better players on the floor, even if we're smaller, because of what he's able to do down low to get rebounds.
He kind of talked with us about how he likes to talk on the court, just start, trying like, with other guys. Just what do you like about the energy that he maybe brings in that sense, and just maybe the line that you can balance as a player, just talking it up out there on a court?
Yeah, the talking doesn't stop just on the court. Trust me on that one. But no, he's just got a great personality. And with the team, everybody knows he's got the team's best interest at heart. And so, therefore, when he talks, they're going to listen because they know it's coming from the right place. And he leads by example, too. He's the last one to leave the gym every day, always in the training room getting ready. So those are the kind of guys that can lead because, they look at somebody and he's doing all the things he's supposed to be doing. He brings a joy to the game. He's, when it's player-led in the locker room, when they want it just as bad as the coaches do, that's when you can be pretty good. And that's what it's got to. And he's been a huge part of that.
There's not many games that have the same type of energy and feel to a rivalry on the road. To see you guys come out on top against a team like Texas, did you learn anything at all about your guys in that win?
Well, every game in this league is different. You got to be able to win different ways. And, we had to execute really some of our half-court sets late in that game. We had to do a couple of different things on defense, from switching, from pressing back to zone, then to man. But that's just kind of taking the next step, I guess, of just progression from being able to practice more with this group. And so I guess just winning different ways. This is not just from the Texas game, but I just think our group's a confident group right now. I just think they expect to win right now. And I'm not saying that means you're going to win every game, but they expect to win. And they're really dialed in, like early in the year we weren't ready to win on the road. Because to win on the road, you got to play really good defense. And right now, if you go look at the statistics of just strictly in-league play, we've been the number 2 defense in the league. Which who would have thought that, with our size. Just, and we got some guys out there that aren't the most athletic players, So I can think of one in particular who can shoot it really well. May not be the most athletic, but he got a lot better on defense as we've gone along. So I think that they're able to guard better, which obviously allows you to win on the road in games like that.
You mentioned confidence. Where do you think they get that from?
Well, I just think when our formula for how we've played and my own personal formula for success that we've used ever since I coached high school basketball is the same here. And at Mountain Brook High School, if you go and you looked in the locker room, it's going to say hardworking, unselfish, fearless. That's where I started coaching. And that was kind of the belief that I had and as an athlete, is that if you outwork everyone and your team is more together and unselfish than who you're going to play against, then you earn the right to play fearless. It's really hardworking plus being unselfish equals being fearless. Because if you know that your team has outworked, practiced harder, and then is more together, and it's all about each other, when you line up to take the floor, you're that much more together, and you put in more work, and you played harder, there's an edge to you as a team that you can play now fearless basketball. And so that's what's written in our locker room at Mountain Brook High School when we started that identity. That's what's written on the practice gym at Sanford, and that's what's written now in the practice gym here. Nothing has changed. It's just you got to acquire good personnel. They got to work extremely hard. They got to be about each other, and then they're going to play fearless basketball. And then after that is X's and O's. So far down the totem pole. So far down the totem pole. People have shown a million ways you can win. Zone, man, press, half court, threes, twos. We've shown a million ways. I prefer our way, right? But there's a million ways to win. But no great teams have come if they don't have. They work so hard and they play so hard. They're together and have an element of confidence to them. I've seen some great X and O teams that don't play that hard, not really together, don't have a lot of confidence, and they're not going to win many games. Right.
So how do you keep this momentum that y'all got going,
Yeah.
tomorrow night?
Well, I think you got to think, all right, what did we do in that game that we could have done better with, right? So how can we take the next step? And, I mean, that's what we focused on is where can we take the next step in learning through winning. And so if we do that, coupled with the things I mentioned, playing hard and together, right, then we should be better than we were versus Texas. And that's what you can control. Doesn't mean you're going to make every shot. Doesn't mean going to make every free throw. But you're controlling the things that you can control. And that's the best way for success.
A lot of guys have been praising Josh Hubbard so far. So in your scout, what have you seen from 12?
He's just one of these guys. I mean, I said this with Mississippi State. They could beat any team in the country because they're good enough on defense and they have a player that can just literally get going and score 45 points on you. Cut your lights out. So, he's a very good player. We know that. And so, I mean, we were talking about this last night is, they got us in I'm saying us, I mean in A&M. We didn't play them at Sanford last year. They got us in Starkville last year pretty good, right? So we know they're capable. We should have all the Aggies should know that this is a very capable team. And we should be here lined up, ready to fight together and get a win.
I go back to the Rashan's court case when you were on the stand and said he could be the franchise player of this team. When you were thinking about him then, I think people, when they think of Bucky Ball, would think like a three-point shooting guard or something would be. What was it about him at that time that you felt like would make him that? And has he overachieved that? Has he been right to what you thought? How can you compare your thoughts then to now?
Yeah, I mean, I said that he could have as many double-doubles as anybody in the country. The biggest deal to play for us in the way that we want to play, you have to be really tough. You really have to be tough. And because, Matt Painter had a great quote at Purdue. It's like, we're not going to change to a recruit. We're not going to change to be you. You're going to change. You're going to be us. You know what I mean? And so because of that, we're not going to say, well, these guys don't like to play hard, so we're just going to kind of sit inside the three. We're going to walk it on up. They don't really like to be unselfish, so we're just going to not pass the ball and live with taking bad shots from two players. We're never going to do that. We'll play the walk-ons. Trust me, we will play walk-ons that will play hard and unselfish because we're thinking program first. And so with someone like Rashan, I knew he'd be great because he's so tough. He worked so hard and plays so hard. He was about the right things when I recruited him. I could just tell it's all about the right things. And he's a confident guy. You got to see the Natty one last night by Indiana in football. And good football team. And, one thing that stuck out with me with what their coach said is, they recruit off of production, not potential. And I think great football coaches like Coach Elko would say the same deal. So Rashan was a JUCO player at one point. He played at Bowling Green. And he actually was at New Mexico for a second, but didn't play much. Then at USC. Produced everywhere he's been. Was just kind of got double-doubles everywhere he's been. And then he goes in the portal this time, and I know there was that waiver situation hanging over him, but to me, I was just like, the production. This should be one of the most highly sought after players in the portal. And then when I brought him here on the visit, I just loved. Well, I would say talking to him, but I love listening to him. And so that's what he's been. And I thought he was a perfect fit for us. I really did. I just thought it's a perfect fit for what we needed.
What are some of the things he likes to talk about, maybe beyond basketball?
It's such an engaging personality. He's you've seen those people that when you see them, they just got negative energy that you want to turn and go the other way. He's the opposite. He's just got that infectious personality that, he just has a great laugh to him. He's like, just big bear, you know what I'm saying? And he'll talk about anything. It's not what he'll take to be. He could talk literally about anything, but it's the positive outlook in which he sees things. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just totally like it's not a glass half full deal. It's the glass looks all the way full, right? And I mean those are the kind of people you want to be around.
When you look at one of your former players at George Shore, who's now at Mississippi State, in your scouting, they using him similarly to how you used him? Is he same player, different player? What have you seen from the clips?
Yeah, Chore for us was used very differently. He was shot, a very high percentage from three, was a stretch big, had the ball, was a primary role. I mean, you're talking about a player that had X number of points on Kansas and was used more like a big guard who shot a lot of threes. Each team calls for different things of how they play or how a player's needed, right? But he's a very good player, obviously. Looking forward to seeing him tomorrow. But one thing he could always do is rebound, and he is doing that for them. He's been doing a good job rebounding for them. Yeah.